Hello my fellow pod pilots of New Eden, EddieRio here in a Thrasher and Thrasher fleet issue. Of course I'm going to be flying destroyers, I'm in faction warfare, fighting for Mimitar, I'm going to fly a Thrasher. The destroyer class ship is the kind of staple diet for most faction warfare enjoyers. And that's because they're cheapest chips and they do a hell of a lot of DPS. They're glass cannons though. They have very little tank, but they can certainly apply stupid amounts of damage for the size ship that it is. As you can see in this clip, I've just downed a Tristan, but I've got a Republic Fleet Firetail on me. I've also got a Breacher approaching me, and a Tormentor is also coming in as well. These first few fights I'm just in the standard Thrasher, and then we'll move up to the Thrasher Fleet issue towards the end. And I will post the fits in the description below. So I got the Tristan, but the Firetail and his mates managed to finish me off there. Next up I'm against another Thrasher, and this just highlights exactly what I mean by glass cannon. It's whoever can lock up the person first and apply that DPS, and the fights are over so quick. You haven't got any time to be messing about. You just got to make sure your modules are overheated and you lock them up as quickly as possible. Here we have a Slicer that's coming to have a go. I didn't think that he was going to be brawl fit and come close to me. I thought he was going to try some kitey stuff, but that's perfectly fine by me because that's where I can apply all my damage, and I'm quite surprised he did want to fight me, but as you can see I made short work of him. But a good fight, you never know what's going to happen, so it's always worth trying. And I'm always grateful for any solo fight that I get, that someone wants to aggress and play back, because finding solo fights can be difficult, as you know, you can get blobbed quite easily, or people are quite often hunting packs, so finding the solo fights is sometimes challenging, but just part of the game. Here we've got a crucifier navy issue that's aggressed me on the gate, and I decide to attack back, not knowing what's on the other side. And I found this fight quite interesting looking back at it, because you can see that I'm applying quite good DPS and it looks like I'm gonna win the fight, but then all of a sudden he makes a decent little bit of range, gets out to sort of 6-7 kilometers, and then starts to put some E-War on me. So I've probably got some either optimal range or tracking disrupting script that he's loaded that is on me that just completely stops my DPS on him. This is why I find it really interesting looking back at some of the fights and seeing what happened and how it happened and how I can improve in the future as well. But I keep plinking away at him and getting glancing shots off, and eventually he dies, and an Imperial Navy Slicer that was in the last fight that I just showed appears and manages to finish me off. So fair play to him, he managed to get his revenge. Fighting in faction warfare and sticking to the same sort of area of space, you do bump into the same names quite a few times, but that's quite cool, and you build up a bit of a relationship amongst your enemies even, and you know, you're just another person sat on their computer trying to enjoy the game as well, so there's no need to be a dick about it, let's just all enjoy it at the end of the day. So last fight here in the Thrasher before we move up to the fleet issue variant, and just against a Breacher here. Really want to try a Breacher, but I'm going to have to train missiles to do that, which is something that I'm looking into, because I also want to give the Bellicose a really good try, because that looks like it can be quite a good ship. So here we are in the fleet issue, and I've come across 3 ships, all sort of navy and fleet issue ships, and I'm quite happy to aggress them. But I kind of want to split them up a little bit, and they're on the gate, so I decide to reapproach the gate, wait for 1 or 2 of them to red box me, jump through and hope the other 1 or 2 follows, and then quickly turn around and start trying to aggress one of them, knowing that the other one has got the gate timer to before he can jump in, which gives me that extra few seconds without so much DPS on me. So as you saw, the hook bill aggressed me, so I jumped through and start going for the Republic Fleet Firetail and whacking my DPS, overheat, and try and take him down as quickly as possible. The other one hasn't even decloaked. There he is, his crucifier navy issue, so he's going to start coming towards me and aggressing me as well, but hopefully I can take this fleet issue out before he starts to get to me and applying DPS as well. And there we go, just as the crucifier comes in, he goes down, so I can move over to him. I'm also expecting the hook bill to jump in soon, but instead of the hook bill I get another crucifier navy issue, so it turns out to be 4 ships that I'm up against now. And I'm only just about to touch armour, and this fit is actually hull tanked, so I've got 3 I think they're called bulkheads something or others, the Tech 2 versions of them, so I've got quite a heavy hull tank on this one. So I've taken 1 crucifier navy issue out and I'm working on the second one, and also as that happens the hook bill jumps in and then starts applying DPS on me as well, just as this one is about to drop. So I've taken 3 frigs out now that have been attacking me. It's certainly nice when they come at you one at a time like this. And it's just up to see if I can get this hook bill as well. I'm at half hull and he's at half shield, so it should be close. I'm already quite happy with taking 3 ships out, so I'm happy to see this one to the end, and if I die, I die. It doesn't matter. I feel like I've won the ISCOR. Managed to get his shields down, his armour gets hit in 1 volley, but as that happens I die at the end. But good fight, really enjoyed that. Just kind of highlights how much fun you can have in a cheap ship as well. You know, that was a 4v1 situation and I managed to take out 3 of their ships and then die to the last one, but you know, what a great fight, and really enjoyed that. Next up we've got a Fed Navy Comet that doesn't even get me down into my hull, and next up we've got a Catalyst Navy issue that I kind of took by surprise at the gate. I think they were waiting to jump and they weren't quite expecting me to aggress, and I managed to get the jump on them a little bit and applied DPS much before they started to return DPS on me, and as you can see I've got them down into hull. They do have an ancillary rep, so he's managing to get some reps off there, but his slight hesitation caused that advantage for me, which essentially meant that I won this fight. Which just shows, and especially with the destroyer class, how it is down to those split-second decisions that you make that can swing the battle one way or the other. Chatting to him after the fight, he explained how he wasn't sure what was on the other side of the gate and hesitated before aggressing and said that he probably should have jumped. So we sort of went our separate ways and then ended up having a rematch, knowing that he was going to be sort of rail fit and wanting to keep that kind of maximum scram range. I decided to load barrage and see if that would help. This is quite a good pilot, probably one of the best noobs in faction warfare. I knew that they weren't going to be messing around with their fit and it was going to be quite a difficult kill, knowing that I haven't got that 15-20 second advantage of sort of catching them off guard a little bit like I did in the previous fight. But certainly shows how much of a glass cannon these things are. You haven't got time to change your ammo mid-fight like you would do with a sort of a cruiser or battle cruiser fight. And they finished me off, but good fight and thank you for the rematch. So last up I'm up against a Kitey Federation Navy Comet with a warp disruptor, and he's keeping range really well, but my main objective of this fight is to try and slingshot myself and see if I can get him in scram and web range. I change over to barrage to apply some DPS at range, but it's not gonna work unless I can get him in scram range. He's gonna kite around me quite far and at distance, but he manages to make a little mistake and comes into web range, and that's it. Once I've got a lock on him, there's not much he can do. He's not going to have much tank being speed fit like that, and down he goes. But yeah, thanks for watching. I've been in proper chill out mode recording the audio for this. I hope you enjoyed the video though. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe if you're not already. It really does help, and I will catch you in the next one. Fly safe.